It was 2:30 by the clock when I woke up in the semi-darkness of the dormitory, the dream still vivid and present. That man was back again, as familiar as an old friend. He had been visiting my dreams for 4 years now, and still I had no idea who he was, where he had come from, and what he wanted from me. His eyes stared right at me with an open, forthright look, and his wide lips were pressed into what might or might not have been a smile. The expression was neutral. I couldn't say that he was happy or sad, friendly or not, but he was radiant, glowing with an intense energy. He was silent this time. He had only spoken once before in a language I didn't understand. The last time he appeared, I wasn't even asleep. It was on the train just a few months earlier when my family was moving yet again from Ahmedabad to Kolkata. Draw a line all the way across India at its widest, and you can imagine how long a train trip that was. No kid could sleep the whole way, let alone one with my energy. I was in the top bunk, staring at the grimy ceiling, and still perfectly conscious even as the metal rhythm was lulling me. Then out of nowhere, there he was. The dome of his shaved head was so vivid, I could have reached out and touched the stubble. His eyes glimmered under fuzzy eyebrows that were as white as his crisp white shirt. He wore a yellow cloth over it, fastened at one shoulder. It was also intensely clear and bright, nothing sleepy about it at all. I was 6 years old in 1985, when the dreams and visions had started. The very first time, too, there was no question that I was wide awake. I was with a friend who lived in the same compound at Evelyn Lodge, where our bungalow was. I'd gone to his apartment to ask him to play, and we were walking toward the cricket field when I saw what looked at first like streaks and patches of orange in the sky. Was it sunset already? That would mean it was time to go home. But it couldn't be. We hadn't even started playing. Then the colors resolved into shapes and their outlines became clear. Men in robes of that saffron sunset color with shaved heads were milling about. There was a deer and a small hut. Some of the men went into the hut and came out again. It was as vivid as if I were watching a scene from life. Do you see that? My friend followed my gaze, squinting into the sky. See what? He swung the bat at nothing. I pinched myself. That was what you were supposed to do if you thought you were dreaming. It made no difference. Slowly, as we continued to walk, the scene faded into the sky and disappeared. Later, when I got home, I told my parents, but they said I must have imagined it. I worried that there was something wrong with my eyes, but I had no trouble seeing the blackboard in class, or the ball when it was my turn to bat, or the mangoes hanging in the orchard, waiting for my arrows. And if it was my mind that wasn't right, well, it was right enough in all other departments. My grades were excellent. And so it was forgotten, no big deal, and the memory would have been lost in the jumbled closet of a child's mind if I hadn't seen the other things later. There was a place that I dreamt of again and again, but even when I was awake, it appeared very clearly to my mind's eye. A rocky peak loomed above a plain, wrapped in woods and scrub, but with boulders and a cliff face exposed. I had a bird's eye view, but I could see no buildings, no human mark on the landscape, nothing to hint at where this place was, or why it should rouse in me a lingering sweetness, a yearning. It was as perplexing as the man who kept visiting my dreams, and just as persistent. There were other people who appeared at times, some with shaved heads and some with dreadlocks, wearing different shades of yellow, orange, or red. But he was the one I saw most clearly.